This is just such a smart comment, I had to jump up and reply. But yes, the endocannabinoids themselves do stimulate neurogenesis, as we'll see in a quote from the father of the endocannabinoid system himself. But your second point about could the phytocannabinoids from the plant dysregulate it, that we should delve into. I'm Lex Pelger. I do canna education for CV Sciences, the makers of Plus CBD. Ask me anything. Let's read what Dr. Raphael Mechoulam wrote before he passed in this excellent review. Over the past few years, considerable data have indicated the endocannabinoid system plays a central role in neurogenesis. The CB1 receptors are expressed in many regions of the developing brain, and activation of CB1 is required for axonal growth response. Axons are the downstream signaling parts. They're like the mouths where neurons talk to the next neurons downstream. The endocannabinoid system drives neuroprogenitor cell proliferation via the CB2 receptor. So that's the stem cells themselves reproducing and keeping this pool of stem cells that you can always draw from. Finally, cannabinoids actually promote neurogenesis. And as he noted, in mice that don't have CB1 or CB2 receptors, they have reductions in their adult neurogenesis. So what about the potential of the cannabinoids from the plant disrupting this process? Well, you might have a double-edged sword. Look at this in THC in young mice, and you see it helping their myelin sheaths and their neural development and things like that. But then you have research from things like the National Institute of Drug Abuse about it leading to THC in young mice and in young humans, leading to dysregulation of their brains. And we certainly know that the earlier that an adolescent uses THC and the more THC they use, the more likely they are to have schizophrenia later in their life. Perhaps this is because of a disruption to neurogenesis. Perhaps it is a disruption to synaptic pruning, the lessening of synaptic connections that your brain has to go through during adolescence. But also, you have in older mice and in older humans, very low doses of THC being very, very protective of the brain and seeming to, if not only protect it, perhaps add to it with more neurogenesis. Though, as I keep saying, that's a very hard thing to prove. But THC can be a double-edged sword when given in high amounts to adolescent brain. Things seem to get more clear when you talk about CBD, which generally just has a positive effect on the brain. This is an excellent review paper talking about the pro-neurogenic effects of CBD and how that might be helpful for psychiatric disorders in general. Here's a more specific paper with CBD promoting neuronal differentiation via the CB1 receptor. Here is CBG causing cytoskeletal remodeling. That is the changing of the neuron so its axons can reach sometimes across the entire brain to the next neuron. Then you have THCV regulating neurogenesis via the vanilloid system. So all this to say, while we don't always know what's going on, with the ability of the cannabinoids from the plant to protect the brain, it could be because they help the endocannabinoid system cause neurogenesis and new brain cells.